Hello, good morning. And what I have here is two identical boxes that people may have also called ottomans that would be used to store items in, such as linen or clothes or even things of sentimental value. Now, you're probably thinking, hang on a minute, they're not identical because this one doesn't have the material on top. Well, the reason it doesn't have the material on top is because when I brought this one, both are obviously secondhand. One was brought from an auction house and one was brought off Marketplace. The fabric was actually ripped, and I decided to take off the fabric to see what was actually underneath. And when you actually look at what is underneath, it's not very good quality wood, to be honest. I mean, you can see already like where there's staining, where the nails have gone rusty, but it was quite, and it is still quite a solid base. I've actually turned this one round, so when I open it, it's going to have to open this way, I'm afraid. So these are the hinges. There would have been a piece of metal attached to keep the box open and to stop it from falling from the lid, basically falling down, causing stress to the hinges. And again, it is made from a quite cheap material. And for that reason, as I do have two of them, I was looking at reupholstering them and practicing my reupholstery because I've not done reupholstery before. So again, even on this one, you can see there is a slight tear in the fabric. And when you open it up, it's this package material that is actually in there. So under new regulations of anything that's made from like material for houses, this probably would not stand up to new fire standard regulations for being safe in a property because of how quickly and easily it would be to burn and be flammable, and also potentially because of not knowing what the actual packing material is. When anything does catch on fire in a property, it's the toxins that they can release. That is why a lot of new rules and regulations have come out. So when trying to sell anything vintage, or even if you're upcycling anything, there's so many programs on TV that are always like money for nothing, and where they're always talking about upcycling and re-renovating antique furniture. Well, when you do that, you have to comply with the new EU and obviously UK health and safety regulations and guidelines of reupholstering something. So straight away, I know that because of the material that is inside this padded seat, if I was going to upcycle it or reupholster it in any way, it would have to be stripped back and this would have to be removed. There's no law saying that I couldn't sell it on, but obviously I'd have to make an estimated guess as to when it was made, produced and manufactured. And certain things, depending on the age of the item, may not necessarily have that information included with the product, which is one of the reasons why places like eBay, Facebook Markets, Etsy, there's so many online, Vinted, for example, will have a list of guidelines and warnings to say, you're not allowed to sell things that are made from animal. So you can't sell fur, you can't sell ivory, you can't sell crocodile or, snake, or things that are made from snake skin or chinchilla fur, unless it's from a certain age and you can prove without any, obviously, thinking, is this was this made and manufactured in the 1800s? Was it manufactured or was it made in China in 2021? You know, you have to be so careful. And this is why I do these videos as well. It's so if anyone ever was to buy anything that I have upcycled, there is a traceability as to what I have done, and I have ensured that I've done as much research as I possibly can in order to make this product safe. Now, if it wasn't damaged and it was still in absolutely mint condition, which it isn't, because as you can see even from the rattan, it's got holes in. So the only thing really I can do with this is upcycle it. But given the fact that it is made from such a cheap material, is there even a point doing so? You know, or should it just end up being used, well, it can't even be used for firewood because of the type of wood that is being used? It would unfortunately have to end up in landfill. So I'm thinking, as my first upholstery project, as I've not done one before, I'm better off starting on something cheap. I'm not saying that, you know, they aren't vintage, because they will be, because of the fabric, because of the way they're designed. Sometimes you can tell by the types of nails that have been used, and again, the type of hinges. But a lot of this can literally be just stripped back and upcycled. Now, as there isn't any damage to the top of this one, apart from it being a little bit stained, I will look at potentially cleaning it and then putting some kind of sealant on it to prevent, you know, further damage. But again, when you do start using waxes or varnish, they will be a risk to doing that because they are flammable. And it's not just the fact that they're flammable, they will have warning signs on the tins or containers that anything that you use is in, to say, because of this epoxy resin or this varnish you're using or this paint you're using, you must make sure that it is used in a well ventilated area and that you use personal protective equipment. So, you know, you use breathing apparatus if required, safety goggles, and gloves to protect your hands from chemical burns. So at the moment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to take this one apart. I'm not going to do anything with this one for now. So I'm just going to shove that back in, because my son, he is really interested in how things are made. So what we'll do later is we'll put that under a microscope and look at the fibres that have been used to make this storage box. And again, for some reason, something has actually been spilt on this. It wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't my children messing. I'm not sure what it is. Oh, I know what it is. It's latex paint. Yeah, that's what they've used. They found a bottle of some latex body paint someone brought me as a joke, and they have put it all over the ottoman. So, again, I have two choices. I either upcycle both, or I cannibalise one and make it into and use it for the other. So we'll see. So at the moment, I'm going to see what I can potentially do with this one, because I hate wasting material. And if anything can be reduced, reused, or upcycled, or recycled, then I will. So if you've got any feedback or any advice you want to give me, that'd be very much appreciated. Thank you.